We certainly want to thank David and Sheryl Kerr at this time for all the support they've given to the Rehab Institute and also Toronto area. They have given of their time and their fortunate circumstances, and it's most gratefully received.
It has been truly an honor and a privilege to have worked with David over more than 50 years. For 45 of those years, David has been an ideal business partner, embodying the very best meaning of being a partner, namely integrity, fair sharing, and placing the interests of his partners ahead of his own. As a founding member of the Brookfield Partners Foundation, David has provided inspired leadership to his colleagues by committing both personal time and personal financial resources to community causes, including leading a United Way campaign and, together with Sheryl, contributing to numerous university athletic programs, Sunnybrook Hospital, and other health organizations. Less known is that David commenced his business career in the sports and entertainment sector under the mentorship of Sam Pollock Sr. During David's association with the Montreal Canadiens, the club won 5 Stanley Cups, hosted the Olympics, gymnastics, boxing, and other events, sponsored the Moscow Circus cross-country tours, as well as numerous other international entertainment shows.
In 2004, David, who was chair of the Toronto Rehab Foundation, approached me about joining the board. And when David approaches you, it's very hard to say no. He has an approach that is very subtle and very discreet. And everything I've done with David over the last, 40 years, when I joined him at EdPer in 1976, along with Jack Hockwell and Tim Price, has always been a joy. So I really couldn't say no.
David and I met in 1965. As students in our selected profession, the accounting profession at Touche Ross in Montreal. It was obvious from the start that though we didn't work together there, that we had something in common. What the work and the background gave us was a trust between each other, so that when there was a job that needed to be done, it became very obvious that there were elements of each where we could help each other, and that the teamwork went on consistently throughout the years.
I think that's the story of David and Sheryl. Everything that they've been involved in, whether it's Toronto Rehab, Sunnybrook, Toronto Symphony, and just about anything else that they've participated in, they've always been hugely successful in their efforts. And more recently, David kindly came back to the foundation and got involved with the campaign cabinet, where we are currently completing a $100 million capital campaign. So there was David again, helping out along the way.
So on this occasion, I'd like to congratulate David and Sheryl on behalf of their colleagues in Brookfield for their tremendous contributions over so many years.
So David, on behalf of Sheila and all of us in our family, we want to thank you and Sheryl for everything you've done for Toronto Rehab, and that you've done for Sunnybrook, and that you've done for this community that we call Toronto, even though we come from Montreal. Thanks so much.
We stood for each other at each other's weddings, and our relationship with our families and wives has always been deeper than just the 4 of us, David and Sheryl and Fran and myself. And I can tell you how great it is to feel so close to a guy that I've worked with virtually, well, certainly all my working life, but to feel that I've known him all my life and have had that wonderful relationship in knowing that somebody's there for you. And I'll always be there for David. I think he and Sheryl have done magnificent things in the community. And if you look at the span of what they've done, whether it's been the Symphony or McGill and the women's hockey team or Toronto Rehab, I mean, they recognize that in our community, all these different aspects of education, culture, whatever, need to be supported. And I think I see great value in what they've done, and really appreciate it, and thank them and congratulate them for having been so gracious and so wonderful to the community.